What's up, guys? My name is Fire by Night, and I wanted to welcome you to effectively the launch of my YouTube channel. I have been around for a while. My channel has been open for about 3 years. I was active for probably about 6 or 7 months of it, making videos. But I ended up stopping just because I moved and I got caught up in school and work, and life gets busy, and so I just stopped. But I'm in the point now where I kind of want to start, making videos again and kind of trying my hand at this and just kind of having some fun with it. Before I put pressure on myself to, get a lot of subscribers, maybe get partnered, maybe make money on it, all that stuff. And that's not what I want to do this time. This time I just want to have fun, talk about what's on my mind, inform people about what's going on around the world. I just want to have a good time and make videos and talk about stuff that I want to talk about. Not really care who watches it or how many people watch it, I guess would be a better way of saying it, but just focusing on doing something that I enjoy and just having a good time while I do it. So I figured one thing I want to do is I want to have two types of videos going on my channel. I want to always have one live commentary, more action adventure, story based, linear storyline kind of game. Stuff like Tomb Raider, stuff like, maybe Mass Effect or Uncharted, those kind of games. Open world or, controlled story, it doesn't really matter. Just something where I'm figuring things out, I'm playing live, I'm reacting live, that kind of stuff. And then I want to have one post commentary type of video series that's always active, preferably or most likely a first person shooter. Games like Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I don't own Infinite Warfare, so I won't be playing that. Call of Duty World War II when that comes out, that kind of stuff. And I want to use those videos as an opportunity to inform people about what's going on around the world, or if there's just something I want to talk about, then I'll just talk about it. But I figured there's not a whole lot of people that know what's going on around the world. I mean, there's a decent amount, but a lot of people, if you're, really Republican, you watch Fox News, you read Breitbart News, you might dabble in Forbes or the, Washington Journal, those kind of news networks where you're only really getting one side. And if you're Democratic, then you're looking at the, CNN, the Huffington Post, you might be doing the New York Times, the Washington Post, those kind of networks. And a lot of people, I find, they look at one and they don't look at the other. And the news has become a way of kind of confirming people's personal bias. Places like Forbes or the New York Times are pretty good about at least giving the other side of the story, but a lot of people only read stuff and only listen to stuff that kind of confirms the way they feel. So I figured making a game-based channel that looks at news might help people to see things from a little more centered point of view. I'm not by any means politically motivated by any party. I have what I believe, and I'm sure that'll come through in this channel. But for the most part, I try to look at both sides and make decisions for myself, and I want to help other people see both of those sides, make their own decisions. Obviously, I'll be giving my opinion and why I feel the way that I feel about certain things. But really what I want to do is I want to be what people call an opinion leader. And what an opinion leader is it's somebody that goes out, they find the news, and they help bring that news to other people. Basically spreads news in more of like a grassroots kind of way. So that's more what I'm trying to do here. And I have one thing that I kind of wanted to touch on today. There's about 9 minutes left in this video, so we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in North Korea. Over the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, things have been getting kind of tense over there. If anyone hasn't been following, there's the constant threats of nuclear war, preemptive strikes. So I just kind of want to tell people, what's going on and kind of give my idea or my perspective of it and what I think about it and, how I've been reacting to it. But I don't want to tell anybody what to think. So again, I find it very important to stress that I'm going to tell you what I know. I'm going to give you my opinion on it, but what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to spark a curiosity and a desire in you to go out and read about this stuff and to learn about this stuff. I want to be the launching point for other people to figure out where they stand and to know what's going on in the world, because it's very, very important. We can't just walk around in the United States or in, Britain or France and only be worried about what's going on in our local communities. That's very important to know what's going on in your local communities, But we need to know what's going on worldwide, because that's going to have a tangible effect on every single one of us, whether we'd like to acknowledge it or not. I'm sure, back during the Cold War era, people thought, what's going on with Russia doesn't matter to me. And that might have been true until you were doing bomb drills in your school, because at any given point, either country could have launched off, nuclear missiles, and people just didn't know what was going on or why it was going on. I'm sure some people did, but not everybody did. And I want to help at least a few more people know what's going on around the world. Now, the way that I'm kind of presenting this does make it seem like this is going to be like a doom and gloom kind of channel. It's not going to be. I plan on talking about nice stuff. I'm just as likely to talk about the adorable puppy as I am to talk about North Korea. Right now, I feel like North Korea is a very important thing going on in the world, so that's what I want to hit on. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started and just kind of give you some background information. So, ever since really President Trump, took office, things between North Korea and the United States have been escalating at a very quick pace. A lot of people are saying that the tension between the two countries is the worst that it's ever been. And North Korea and South Korea are the closest they've ever been to actively going to war again. Now, what's very important to understand is the Korean War never actually ended. There was basically a long-term ceasefire called an armistice that basically is saying that the two countries aren't going to fight, but they never signed a treaty. So technically they're still at war. They're just not actually fighting each other. So at any given point, North Korea or South Korea could attack the other one. And it's not really, technically nothing changed. I mean, obviously something did. They attacked each other. They're back actively fighting, but they're still at war. So at any given point, really, either country could attack the other one. And not that it's ever okay, but it's not going to be a declaration of war. It's not going to be something necessarily new. It will be a change, but it could happen. I mean, I'm just trying to stress how easy it is that could theoretically happen. So anyway, tensions between the two countries are really bad right now. Some of the things that have led up to that is, North Korea has been testing missiles. They've been, I think since President Trump has taken over, they've probably tested 3 or 4 missiles. They shoot them out into the Sea of Japan, and sometimes they shoot them into like deserted areas in the country. And most of them up until this point this year, not all of them have, and most of them in the past have actually succeeded, but most of the ones they've shot this year, especially recently, have failed. And what that means really is that North Korea is testing new technology. That means that they're kind of getting their hands and they're developing some new stuff, and they're figuring out the best ways to fire. And granted, they're not succeeding right now, but every failure tells you what not to do. So really, even though they're failing, they're not really failing because they're learning from it, if that makes sense. So anyway, they're shooting off these missiles, and they're honing in this technology, and they've gotten to the point now where they're able to shoot a missile and strike Japan. They're able to shoot a missile and they're able to strike the capital of South Korea, Seoul. They're not quite able to attack the United States like mainland yet, but essentially that's their goal. That's why they're testing all these, is because they want to be able to shoot a missile from North Korea and have it hit the eastern border of the United States. So this has become a major point of concern for the United States. It's also become a point of concern for most Western European countries and pretty much the majority of North America, because North Korea is a little unhinged, and if they're going to attack the United States, then they'll attack anybody, really. So in response to this, President Trump ordered a fleet of ships. I think it's three ships. It's like an aircraft carrier and 2 warships out to basically just kind of hang out off the coast of South Korea, which is seen as a preparation for invasion by North Korea. So, North Korea shoots a missile, we condemn it. They shoot another missile, we condemn it. They shoot another missile, we send a fleet of warships out right off of their coast. So they shoot more missiles. They have 2 of their biggest holidays of the year, one celebrating the birth of their leader and one celebrating the birth of their nation, where they fire off huge artillery pieces and they show off huge military parades, and they strut their stuff and just kind of celebrate. While this was going on, North Korea claims that the United States tried to assassinate Kim Jong-un with the help of South Korea. And they did this essentially by planting United States citizens in North Korea as professors. There are 2 professors that they arrested and accused of this conspiracy. of really using chemical weapons to assassinate the leader of North Korea. Now, their state-sponsored news network ran a really long story about this, and it's mainly just a propaganda-full story. It talks about what we were planning on doing and how amazing North Korea is for stopping it. The only problem is that they don't have any evidence for that. So really, what they're doing is they're using this as an opportunity to tell their citizens how evil the United States is and how evil South Korea is and how we are trying to upheave their government, take over their country, and put our own people in there to run things the way that we think they should be run. Basically, they're trying to make North Koreans scared of basically any outside country. While this is going on, North Korea's news networks is basically telling North Korean citizens that they don't need to be afraid of the United States. And they don't need to not be afraid of us because we're really not planning on doing anything, but because of how capable they are of destroying the United States through military action, through preemptive nuclear strikes. They released a video where they showed Washington, D.C. being destroyed, the White House being blown up by a missile. And they played that on their televisions and, at movie theaters and stuff, just to kind of help the North Koreans feel not as afraid of what America can do, but also to show them, or try to show them, what they're capable of doing against the United States. Now, they've never actually successfully tested a nuclear warhead, so that's not something that they are able to do, but that doesn't really matter to North Korean citizens. They're going to think that they can. So anyway, we've got America not happy with North Korea not happy with America, and the two are running at each other with, swords drawn in hand, really at any moment war being able to break out. And then you've got China trying to calm everybody down and saying, hey guys, we need to stop and figure this out. And China's probably right. The only problem is that we've been trying to do this for 10, 15 years, and it's never succeeded. So really, guys, that's just kind of a backstory of what's going on between the two countries. This video is almost up, so I can't really go into it anymore, but there's a lot more going on. And I really, really highly encourage you guys to look into this and read about it yourself and figure out what's going on. I would highly recommend reading places like the Associated Press. If you're going to read Fox, also read CNN. But anyway, guys, that's it for this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it kind of sparked some curiosity. There will be more of these coming, but the channel's probably not going to pick up for another couple weeks with like full-on content until after I move again. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to y'all later. Have a great one. Adios. If you guys did enjoy this video, please comment and let me know, and drop a like. And if you want to see more and you want to stick around, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It might be a week or two, but there will definitely be more stuff coming in the future.